Hi, I'm Dick Shappy. I wanted to do an overview of the show we just recently had on August 7th at my residence in Warwick Neck, Rhode Island. It was a great day. In spite of the heat, I think we really pulled it off. There were people that couldn't attend because of the extreme heat, but we were able to stay pretty cool. We had a tent. We had plenty of soda and cold water, and you can have some beer for those that want to have a few beers. But we had a great time, and looking forward to next year's show as well. We had approximately 60, 65 or so vehicles show up. Some really great Cadillacs showed up this year, and we actually had some motorcycle guys come. I am a vintage motorcycle collector, and I did invite some of my motorcycle friends to show up. Naturally, they're not a Cadillac. There's no such thing as a Cadillac motorcycle, but we had some great bikes show up as well. We gave out 16 trophies. I'd like to mention at least the Cadillac trophies that were given out. We gave it Best of Show to Frank Nickedemus. He brought this beautiful '59 Cadillac all the way from upstate New York, and he brought that to the show, and I sent a couple of my guys out to do the judging, and it came back as that car to be the best of show. We did have some other great cars in the show as well. In the 30s, in the 20s era, we had the Mike Goldblatt has this beautiful '27 Cadillac Roadster that he's brought before, but what a great automobile. He brought that, and that got his first place in his class. John Ritchie, John and Jen Ritchie brought the 1934 Cadillac convertible coupe, and they won first place in the 30s era cars. The best 40s era car was Paul DeMeo from Johnston, Rhode Island, with his 1940s Cadillac convertible, great car, nice, all original, beautiful automobile. And we actually had a motorcycle, a few motorcycles show up, and John Lopes won the first place with his 1947 Harley Davidson WL. Great, beautiful restoration, beautiful motorcycle.
How you doing? My name is Sean Reed. Sean Reed. And I'm the owner of the Antique Car Barn here in Rhode Island. And what you're looking at today is a 1949 Cadillac Series 75. So when you bought this car, it was actually the most expensive as well. So this car, think about 1949, homes were going for what? Maybe $5,000 new. This car was $7,500 new. So to have that kind of money, you got all the luxury of it. And this was the model changeover too. So this model was from 1941 to 49. But in 49, they wanted to introduce the overhead valve, so they decided to put it into this car and give it that same look of the period between 41 and 48, but then the 49, they put the better drivetrain in it. And then within the motor itself, this is where it's key to the car, is from 41 to 48. In this particular series, it was a flathead, so it's a little bit different, but this was the overhead valve, the 49. In which they did that, so it gives you that better torque, 331, better drive, with all the luxuries of the older body style, which is great. So yeah, so if you look at the movie The Godfather, it'll be the '72 Godfather. You'll see the car, you know, with Diane Keaton as he's walking with Al Pacino behind him, the car following, and it makes a couple appearances as they're looking in front of the mansion, and that just gives it the, you know, provenance. But for me, it's just the joy and the love of cars, Cadillacs especially. And you know, Dick Shappy puts on, as you know, a great event for all of us. He's the forefront when it comes to Cadillacs, and we're the people that just enjoy and admire it with him. So I'm really happy to know Dickie and know my father for over 40 years, and we just thank him for what he does for our car community and our hobby, and all of his friends can get together here on a beautiful August day like this and look at the view. You really can't beat it when it comes to cars, views, and everybody, and meeting people. It's really what makes the hobby great, and I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Gira il mondo, gira nello spazio senza fine, con gli amori appena nati.
Well, I've been doing these shows for a few years now, and actually during the pandemic we didn't have a show that year, but probably for the last 12 years I've been doing this at my residence, and it's just great to get all the Cadillac Club at my house. Originally they used to have the show at Portsmouth Abbey in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. It was the New England region Cadillac LaSalle Club would have their show there. So rather than when they ceased having that particular show, I said, well, let's do it at my residence. So I've been doing it ever since, and I'll continue to do that as long as I'm well enough to do it. I'm hoping to have an even greater show next year. I've got a few things planned, so if anyone missed this year, please make sure you're going to have it next year.
I'm Bill Renda. This is my '63 Cadillac. I call it Cruella de Vil.
And how long have you had this car?
About 6 years.
Did you do a lot of the restoration to it?
CPR in Poughkeepsie, New York, Cadillac Parts and Restoration. Although the paint is 28 years old, it's base coat Centauri, that's it. Single stage. When I was 7 years old, I went with my father to a body shop where he worked, and they had a '63 in there. It was a limo, and he told me I wouldn't pull my eyes off the car all day, and they were looking for me and I couldn't find me, and I was actually sleeping in the front seat. And the next couple of days I went there, I was around the car, and so I was hooked on Cadillacs. And when I found this car, I just came across it by accident, and to be honest, I never thought I'd ever be able to own something like this. Well, they were the epitome of luxury. They were bougie, they were bourgeois, they were the car. They competed with Rolls-Royce. Nobody knows that. Cadillac is the first one that came out with wishbone suspension, and Rolls-Royce fired a bunch of people over that. So Cadillacs always had the cutting edge. I mean, the chrome on the edge of the windows. They were the American luxury car. They were, if you had a Cadillac in your driveway, you had money. You made it. That was the sign. I'm very honored. I'm very honored. Dick's a great guy, and to be here. Frank Nickedemus from CPR invited me. But I mean, look around. You're in the epitome of luxury everywhere you look. And it's a good time, a band. I mean, how can you not love this? It's great.
I've been in the Cadillac LaSalle Club for many, many years. I can't even remember when I joined it, but it's a great club. I've been a Cadillac man for many years. They call me the Cadillac man because I've been such an avid collector of Cadillacs. I've been collecting probably since 1970. That would make it over 50 years I've been collecting these things. I got my first Cadillac around 1970. It was a 1931 Cadillac, and I bought it out of the Providence Journal. My God, it's when you could buy cars out of the Providence newspaper. I remember I bought it for a sum of, oh my God, you had to raise $3,000 to buy this car. It was a lot of money in the day. In fact, I restored the car. I ended up selling it years later. My wife actually sold it, and she got, I believe we got $50,000 for it after we sold it, but I did a full restoration on the car. But I've been collecting Cadillacs, like I say, for 50 years, and I've morphed into the multi-cylinder Cadillacs. They've become a source for parts for 1930 to 33 multi-cylinder. I say multi-cylinder, meaning the 12-cylinder, but specifically the 16-cylinder Cadillacs. I presently have in the collection, I have 7 of them. I've got 3 Madam X Cadillacs, which are the most desirable, I would say, of the V16s are your Madam X cars. They're very limited production, and they were just a little extra. Cadillac put a little extra pizzazz into them, and they're just extraordinary cars. I have a 1930, a 1932, and a 1933 Madam X cars right now in the collection.
Honoring you with the first place award for this fine event. So congratulations, Dad.
Thank you. This is a special event for my lovely daughter.
Love you, Dad.
I've had it since 1966. Now see, these things here V16. They don't belong on there. So anyways, I bought 2 other cars to make this what it is. Now here's my daughter. And she's around here somewhere. And we got a duplicate.
She helped you.
Well,
Sorta.
yeah.
This year I had my 1931 Cadillac model 4235, which is a convertible coupe. I just completed a 7-year restoration on this car. Actually, we rushed to get it done for the Concours d'Elegance that was held in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And we won first place at this year's Concours d'Elegance. That was the first time I showed it, and that was only a few weeks before the show at my residence. You know, that car was there, and a lot of people were around that car at the show. And yeah, that was my entry this year at my own show.
I think we had a great time. I think we should do this every weekend. No, this has been fantastic. It's a great crowd. Cadillac people are the best. And a bunch of my other non-Cadillac people, I'm so glad they came. And we do it every year. We're going to do this again next year.